So Oracle just laid off 30,000 people. Not because their business was not doing well, in fact they were doing much better than the previous years, but because they want to invest more in the AI infrastructure. And this is not an isolated incident. In fact, many of the tech companies have had their periods of layoffs. But you need to understand one particular thing. It's not the AI infrastructure that is taking away the job. Rather, it's that one person who is much more productive with AI that is going to take the job, and that's why you need to make sure that you are that person who is upskilling in AI. If you're a student or an early career professional, then this video is for you. Not your parents, not your seniors who are there in the mid-level in a company, but for the first 2 years in a company kind of people who are the most replaceable by AI. If you're in a college, in a university, it is very likely that your college does not have AI curriculum yet. It is still teaching you the fundamentals, the first principles like it was taught, which is great. However, as a student, now it would be your responsibility as well to add the layer of AI. You learn the first principles, the fundamentals, and then add a layer of AI to show your proof of work. What is this proof of work? Exactly what you would have been doing in the first 2 years of your job. Now it's possible to do it while in college because you don't need a 10-member team to do it. And it's very important to do because if you are not doing it, then be very assured that your competitors who would be competing with you in the job market, they would certainly do it. And that's why this video is going to be a step-by-step guide for every student on how to upskill in AI. So I will give you very actionable resources and an implementable roadmap that you can execute today and upskill in AI. So the skill one that we have here is AI literacy. And remember, AI is at that kind of a moment where knowing AI alone is not sufficient. However, it is necessary. For example, Excel. Alone, if you just know Microsoft Excel, it doesn't mean that you will get a very high paying job. However, no matter which field you are in, you have to know Microsoft Excel, whether you are in finance or consulting or marketing. Similarly for AI, knowing AI alone today will not be sufficient. However, AI literacy is very, very important. No matter which kind of a professional you have to have AI literacy. And what do I mean by AI literacy? It's basically understanding what kind of major models are there in the market, what kind of LLMs are there, what AI can do for you, what AI cannot do for you. Very important because that will help you optimize your task. What kind of AI tools you can use for different kind of tasks. This is what AI literacy means. And let's give you a step-by-step action plan for this. So action 1 is you go to all the 4 major platforms, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, as well as Perplexity, and do the same task in all 4 of them. If you want to do research, do in all 4 of them. If you want to write something, do in all 4 of them. And you will be able to see the difference that which AI tool is better at which particular task. Probably the first time you will not be able to see a clear difference. However, 25th, 30th time, you will be able to judge the difference in the outputs, and that is the skill you have to develop. See, these models will keep getting upgraded. However, you have to develop the understanding how to judge the output that these AI tools are providing and understand which one is the best. Then action 2 is take Anthropic's free AI fluency course. They have launched 13 free courses, but at least take this one, AI fluency for sure. After that, action 3 is do the generative AI for everyone course on Coursera. It's available freely. You can audit it. No need to pay for the certificate. Just freely audit it. After that, action 4 is subscribe to at least one AI newsletter. I would recommend the batch by deeplearning.ai. Just keep reading this newsletter from time to time. And at the end of these 4 actions, you would definitely be AI literate. But as I said, AI literacy alone is not enough. Now we go to the more executable task, that is prompting or prompt engineering as some people call it. Now today, casually when you are prompting, you might not understand the difference between prompting 5 times to get the same output versus prompting just once. But if you're working in a company at an enterprise level, if you scale it to that kind of a level, every function prompting their own task, there is a massive cost difference between prompting it once versus prompting it 5 times. There are tokens to be used for every prompt. So that's why it creates massive difference. It's like similar to someone writing a 100-line code versus someone writing that same code in 10 lines, getting the same output in 10 lines. So that is exactly the difference that you have to learn, that you have to understand. And I'll give you an example here. Suppose there is a prompt that I write to the AI, that is write a professional email for me explaining the client about a project delay. Okay, so this is one way of writing it. However, the modified version and the correct version of writing this prompt would be this. And you can pause this, read this, and then you can understand the framework that I want to explain you. So the framework is RCTO. First, give AI the role that it has to play, then the context, then the task it has to do, and finally the format of the output. Now you can go and read the same prompt again and understand how I've used the framework. And 2 ways you can improve this. Whatever task you're doing, now use this particular framework while prompting. Or second, you can also learn this kind of a context on more new frameworks as well from deeplearning.ai site. website, there is this course that they have, which is Chat GPT Prompt Engineering for Developers. It's a 90-minute course, so you can go and do that as well. So the next section is specifically for the students and why I said they need proof of execution with AI and how can they develop it. So let me give you some statistics first. AI related jobs in US have grown by over 130% in 2025. Yes, more than doubled. In India as well, they are growing at almost 40% and expected to grow much faster too. In fact, 60% of the jobs face exposure to AI, which means no matter whichever domain you are in, you need to upskill in AI. In fact, if your college or university does not upskill you in AI, then it's definitely going to get difficult for you, because the other students competing with you, with the recruiters, are definitely going in with proof of execution and have AI in their portfolio. So universities thinking long term have started integrating AI. Let me tell you about UPES, which has already taken a lead and announced partnership with OpenAI, which Sam Altman recently talked about. It's about making it an AI first university, which means integrating AI, generative AI, into the core institutional framework and not just as an add-on, and that's where universities should head towards. And it's definitely useful for students who can access the latest GPT models, get personalized AI tutor, but at the same time it's also very useful for the faculty and the researchers. And it's about AI first education philosophy, where artificial intelligence is used to augment rather than replace human faculty judgment and critical thinking. So it's AI plus humane intelligence. And it's not only for the tech roles that you need to upskill in AI. AI is integrated in UPS School of Business as well for their MBA and BBA programs, along with the BTech courses that they have. So as a management professional, you need to upskill in AI. The gap between strategy and execution is going to get bridged, and the expectation from you will be you master both of them. Now the next question is how to develop this proof of work. Even if the college curriculum that you have is still the same, you're working on the same project that your seniors did, now you have to do it a bit differently. Ask these 4 questions on any project that you're working on. First of all, what are the manual repetitive tasks that I'm doing in the project that can be automated with AI? Second, what are the tasks or outputs that I've produced in this project that could not have been done previously without AI? Third question, what are the tasks or outputs that I have added which AI couldn't have done? And the fourth question is, can I bring my project document or presentation to life? Which means whatever project that you have worked on that's on your presentation, but now can you develop a product out of it? Can you develop it into a tool so that everyone can view it? And it is possible without coding these days. With vibe coding, you can develop certain tools. And I'll give you a very simple example. Suppose you're working on a customer segmentation project in marketing. You are doing customer segmentation. Can you develop a tool out of that? Yes, you worked on your data points, fine and everything, but you developed a certain kind of a model. Now, can you put out a tool so that anyone can just submit a customer's reviews, maybe the demographics, and it suggests what kind of customer they are, what kind of recommendations I have for this particular customer, what kind of products this particular customer will buy? Can I do that using a particular tool? And this tool will keep on improving with more and more data. So I have not just done one project, but now I have a proof of work that I've developed this tool that yes, I worked on this project as well, but there's this execution that I've done. Along with that, all the 3 questions, that what are the tasks that you automated? That is also your proof of work. What are the tasks that you did with AI that could not have been done before? That is your proof of work. What is your flavor that you have added that AI could not have done? That also becomes your document. If you have all of these documented, then you can talk about your project in detail with the recruiters, and that becomes your proof of work. And that brings me to the next skill that you can learn, that is AI agentic workflows. And this is where you move from just using AI to using AI for developing something. And this is also where you can show proof of work very easily. You can use AI agents to automate your manual repetitive tasks. You can use vibe coding tools to build some product out of it. And this is, I think, the highest level of the proof of work that you can show to any recruiter. And honestly, it's not very difficult as well. You can start with any no-code tool, say make.com, for building your agents, and you can pick up a very simple task and automate that. For example, you can start with, say, whenever you see a YouTube video and you find it interesting, you can ask make.com to just it will send you the link. Once you save that video, it will automatically go to make.com. They will summarize the video, they will put it on Notion, and from Notion maybe they will mail it to you, that PDF document or whatever they have. So it's a very simple task. You save a YouTube video, it automatically goes to the summary, then from the summary it comes to your email, and that can be of the first task that you can can do, and later you can keep improving on how to automate many different tasks with AI. You can use any vibe coding tools as well. Lovable you can use, or Emergent you can use. So whichever tool you are using, you can try to build certain products. Maybe you are doing something, and you can build a dashboard for that particular project where it just shows data in a fancy way. You can just change the inputs, it changes the output automatically. So you can use vibe coding tools for that. Just start with these projects, these small projects, and as and when you get a hands on these tools, after that, whichever project you are working on in your college, in your university, just make sure you try to incorporate these agents and these vibe coding tools into it. And you can also do a particular course, AI agentic workflows, on deeplearning.ai. But I believe the best way for you is to learn by doing this stuff. After that, we come to the next skill, and that is very, very important, because as I said, just knowing AI, how to implement AI, how to execute tasks with AI, that's not sufficient. The most important skill that you have to develop is critical thinking. And with AI, it's actually getting worse for people. As soon as a student gets a problem, the first thing that they have started doing is prompting it in AI and then reading the solution. That is what you have to change. You have to use the sandwich approach, that is brain, then AI, then again your brain. As soon as you get a problem, think about it. Think about the structure, think about the possible solutions, think about everything possible, make rough notes, and then you can either put it on AI, or you can just prompt the problem on in any particular AI tool, and then see what solution AI is giving. Match your solution with AI. Have you written something extra, or how has AI improved it? What are the gaps that you had in your thinking? Once you know this, then you can refine the final version of AI as well. Then finally, using your brain, you can close that deliverable or that project. And that is how you have to develop your thinking. First use your brain, structure it, then use AI. If you actually first think about it yourself, then you will be able to give much better prompts to AI, and also able to critically analyze AI's output much better. So that's the first thing that you have to do. After that, first principle thinking. You have to break down the problems till the point it is no more breakable. What does that mean? Basically, I get something that, okay, this is my problem. Suppose I get a problem that more and more people are staying in their homes, they are not going out. How to tackle this solution? The thing that you have to do here is keep asking why. Okay, why are people not going out? Because they like to stay at home. Okay, they like to stay at home. Why do they like to stay at home? Because there are so many things around Instagram and these things that are there to entertain them. Okay, why are they getting entertained with Instagram? Keep going down, keep asking the why till you get to the core of the problem. For any problem, as consultants do it, as it is taught in MBA programs as well, what we learn is first principles thinking, breaking down problems into its simplest parts and understanding the core issue, the root cause of the problem. And that is where you have to think on your own. Keep breaking down problems, develop this first principle thinking. That's why just don't prompt a solution, just don't prompt a particular problem with AI and just read the solution. You have to first critically analyze it, develop this first principle thinking approach. Next, very important, please start writing. I think people have lost touch of writing, but whenever you think about a solution, keep writing it. That helps you develop critical thinking. That helps you think slowly. When you are writing, you think slowly, and that improves your critical thinking. So whatever solution you're thinking of, start putting out in terms of writing. You don't have to write each and every word, rather make flowcharts or workflows. By writing it will help you improve certainly. And that also helps you in another way. That is the next skill that I'm going to tell you, that is communication and storytelling. No matter whichever field you are in, you have to develop communication and storytelling skills. And the way that you do it is, either you can watch a lot of YouTube videos, storytelling formats that they have, presentation formats, how do they structure a particular narrative. Those are very important. You can go and read that. At the same time, if you start writing, it is very important that you will be able to communicate much better, because that helps you communicate in far lesser words. If you're just speaking out, blabbering out, then there are a lot of words that you would be using. Rather, if you have things written down, you will try to narrow down your work and also narrow down the number of words that you're using. So that is a great way of communication and storytelling formats. There are many available on YouTube. Please go and see that. And communication and storytelling becomes a very important skill, because AI, the same output, can be now developed by many people. Now the difference actually can be how you communicate that output to your seniors, how you communicate that, what is the kind of story that you weave around your output. So that's going to be very important now. And finally, the last skill is domain knowledge. Well, I've mentioned this skill at the last, but it comes at the top of the hierarchy. No matter how good you are with your AI skills, no matter how good you are with your communication, storytelling, all of it fails if you don't have the subject matter expertise. If you are good in finance, make sure you become an expert at it, a domain expert at it. If you want to get into marketing, you have to develop the domain knowledge. That is the fundamentals of finance, the fundamentals of marketing. That has to be absolutely top notch. AI can help you execute the task, but it cannot help you solve the first level problem. It cannot help you think in ways that a domain expert will. And that's why it's very important that you first develop domain expertise, no matter whichever AI tool you use, however fast you can execute a certain task. But someone who has more domain knowledge, someone who has more fundamental knowledge, that person will always be hired. That's why develop domain expertise. Now you can, in fact, now more and more, you cannot be a generalist anymore, that okay, I'm a bit of a marketing person, bit of a product person, I can do a bit of technical thing as well. That kind of a person used to be valued, but now I believe if you are great at marketing, some company will hire you for marketing and all of the tasks associated with that. Suppose you have to develop certain tools for your marketing project, you have to develop certain designs for your marketing campaigns. All of that can be executed with AI if you are very clear in your brain that what exactly needs to go out. That's why develop domain expertise. So I hope this video has given you the courses and a clear roadmap on things that you now need to execute, and I hope you start doing it so that you can upskill in AI. If you still have any doubt, you can put that in the comment section. I'll be happy to address it. That's it for this particular video. See you in the next one.